Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today, I wanted to spend a little time and getting a lot of people that are asking about, fence posts, and they're getting anxious. Spring's right around the corner. This is the 4th of February, and it's a short month, and then you got March and you got spring. So, well, in Missouri anyway, we can typically expect grass to start growing around the 1st of April and be ready to start grazing by 10th or 12th of April pretty aggressively. Anyway, so getting a lot of topics, people talking about posts, and I just got comments today. A guy, got a farm, he's wanting to run some stalkers, and it's got all steel posts on it with these little clippy plastic insulators on it. I'm like, oh my goodness. You're just setting yourself up for a heartache. A lot of people are buying farms. I had a guy email me today, and he said he didn't have any fence, and what did I recommend? Right out of the bat, he goes, steel T-post and clip-on insulators. I'm like, no, stop, don't do that. Here's what I recommend. Folks, this is the timeless fence post. It's pre-sharpened. It's got all the holes drilled in it for your wire, so you don't need fasteners. You can run your wire right through the holes. The sizes are, I'm looking, the one I got in my hand right here, this is 1.5 inches, and it also comes in brown. And this one in my hand here is more of a, I think this is a red, kind of a dark red. And then they come in different widths. So you got 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, and this is a beefy one. This is a 2 inch. What I'm talking about is the width here. So this would be something you'd want to put in on a perimeter fence. When you need really good strength, I wouldn't back off of this. This would be my post right here, and I've got one in my lap. I was going to show you. This is a 5-footer. Okay, so this is a brown one, and I counted the holes. It's got 18 pre-drilled holes on it. They're already there. Now you're not going to want to put a wire on like 18, but you pick out what spacing you want with your wire. So this would be a 5-foot, not hit the ceiling there. This would be a 5-foot fence, 60 inches, okay? How do I know how deep to drive it in the ground? Well, timeless fence is taking care of that right here. So you've got this marker right here. When you're driving your post, here's the other beautiful thing about these posts. You can use the steel post driver. You don't need to go buy anything special. Just get your steel post driver and drive it in the ground until that decal is flush with the ground. You can't see it anymore. Stop hitting it. You don't need to drive it in the ground anymore. Now, I get a lot of people that say, Greg, I've got a barbed wire fence, and I'd really like to have power going around my farm. How do I do that? Do I go buy some of those plastic clips and tie on my No, don't be doing that.
Why don't we want to do that, Greg?
Because you're going to have shorts. You've got your old fence, now you're putting your high tensile wire right next to your old fence on the same post with a clip-on insulator. And they make these, they're called standoffs. They're wires that's got an insulator on, they're shaped like that, and you wire it around, and the darn things will flop around, and next thing you know, they're laying against your existing fence. You got a short. Here's what you want to use right here. This is a 4-footer. I love these. These are absolutely gorgeous. They're economical. They're 1.5 inches, and you drive that. Let's say this is my existing fence. You put this in where the wire is about 4 to 6 inches off your existing fence. Drive these in. Use your corner post. Put your bullet insulator on the corners, and then just drive these in around your farm. And the beautiful thing about these is they're stout, and they're also they're rigid enough. You can hang a reel on your high tensile wire here and let the sides of the reel come down on your post, and your reel can't slide. It can't slide back and forth on you. These are just unbelievable. We've got some of these installed over here on our sheep farm. In our sheep fence, we've got one wire at 10 inches and the next wire is at 22. Now for cattle, you would have a 10-inch wire, and then a cattle sheep, you'd have a 10-inch wire, then your top wire would be 28 to 30 inches.
Now,
So-
can you show them the divots on the side there?
Yeah, well, what these divots are for is you can actually wire, in other words, you can wire the wire on the outside if you want. We don't do that. Occasionally we do, but it's pretty nice just to be able to run your wire through there and not mess with it.
Show them a cross section of that.
Yeah, so it's the same as the steel post. That's what's so cool about it.
It's very stout and rigorous.
It is, and you can see the inner part of it. And another beautiful thing about this is recycled vinyl windows. So instead of ending up in the landfill, they're taking vinyl windows and grinding it up, and then it's melted and run through a hot die. We're getting a product out of it. Instead of filling up landfills, we're fencing farms. Folks, this is one of the stoutest posts that I've ever had. We had a tree fall on, well, it would have been this one right here. We had a tree fall on a 1 3/4 inch post down the road here. Ice storm took the tree and it hit it at the top and bent the whole post over like that. And it stayed that way about 2 weeks. I was busy. Every time I go by, I'm like, I need to get over a chainsaw. I need to get over a chainsaw and cut that off. It was at least 2 or 3 weeks. Anyway, I went around and finally cut the tree off. I'm like, well, that post is ruined because it was bent like that. And when I cut the tree off, I came back in about 2 or 3 days, and that darn thing is up like that. You go there today and look at that post. It's still straight up and down. So they're very durable. They're flexible. And I can't think of another post that I would put in the ground. Now, let's cover the economics of this. Everybody says, oh, I looked at timeless fence. Oh, they're expensive. No, they're not. No, they're not. I'll tell you why. Go price a steel post today. A brand new steel post, a 6.5 footer, it's going to cost you, $550 to $650, depending on what class you buy and how much galvanizing is on it, or the paint, or the brand. They're pricey. Here's the deal.
Then you got to buy the barbed wire,
Oh,
and not just one roll.
I just talked to a guy yesterday. He put in all his paddocks. He put in 6 strands of barbed wire on the whole farm.
Well, and he's got
Every paddock.
and he's got another 100 to go.
Oh. Folks, you can't rotate your animals. You got barbed wire out there. You can't rotate your animals. You gotta have hot wire. Barbed wire is nasty to work with. It's expensive. You gotta use steel posts, and you gotta put your steel posts every 12 feet. With this, you can get on flat ground. You can go 20 to 24, maybe 25 feet between posts. That's what makes them economical. You're not using so many of them. You're not using so many of them.
And where are these made?
They're made in Tennessee, in America. They're American made. There's a company down there called Timeless Fence. And, if you go on the internet, just type in Timeless Fence, tell them Greg sent you. And there's 2 guys down there. Brad is unbelievable. And, gosh, you're going to kill me if I don't come up with your name. The weightlifter. Brandon.
Brandon, yeah.
Sorry, Brandon. Brandon and Brad, I've had more people say, when we call them up, they just knocked it out of the park, helping you with what you need. And they sell high tensile wire, they sell the chargers. It's a one-stop deal, folks.
They sell lots of other things.
They sell lots of other things that you need. You're going to need a charger. Get you a good charger.
And they're very knowledgeable at helping you figure it out.
They'll tell you what you need. They're not going to oversell it to you. They're not going to just sell you a product to sell you a product. They're going to sell you what you need. And
down the line, we will show you. We don't have any braces, but we're going to have.
we're going to be putting some braces in out of this. Folks, this is one stout piece of material right here. And they're a corner brace. They're actually what they call a floating brace. And we're getting ready to put some in. We bought, I forgot now how many we ordered. I think it's 12. And we're going to put in some of these floating braces. And they're pretty darn economical for what you're getting. The beautiful thing I like about all this product is it's non-conductive. It's already got the holes drilled in it. It's painted. Fiberglass, we sell fiberglass. Right now, we don't have a lot, but occasionally we get in some. We sell quite a bit of fiberglass. There's a problem with it. You got to keep it painted. If you don't keep it painted, the sun will actually take the coating off of it. When you touch it, you've got fiberglass in your skin. It is non-conductive, but it's
a
just,
mess.
It's mean to work with. It really is. This stuff, it's all got all the coating on it. And I noticed you.
Yeah, we're about ready to wrap up, and we've been meaning to do this.
So I got to show you this. This, bless his heart, Marshall Collie. I almost get tears in my eyes talking about Marshall. He was our old landowner. He passed away. He's 93 years old, lived by himself his whole life. And we've got his farm now. And
we're leasing.
Well, we own part of it.
Yeah.
But we're leasing half of it. Anyway, we took out the fence. This is a barbed wire fence that was fastened to locust hedge post. And the barbed wire was so weak that if you touched it and bent it with a pair of pliers, it just broke. And so it's been up probably 80, 90 years. Believe it or not, those hedge posts were still solid. You don't break them off. Little posts like that. Anyway, the barbed wire had these on it. I mean, that's a nail driven through a piece of tire. Okay? And he had that on so the barbed wire was out here like this. And he was tying a piece of electric fence wire to this, and these were his insulators. He had one at about 14 inches, and he had another one at 2 foot. He cut those with a pocket knife and drove a nail through there. Now, Marshall's a great old guy, but one thing he didn't realize was, and I worked in a chemical lab for 13 years with a chemical engineer, and tires have a product in them called carbon black. We would put carbon black in epoxies to make it conductive. So this is conductive. And Marshall always said, well, you know that hot wire, it don't work the best, it don't stay hot. And all of his insulators were conductive. He had carbon black in them and didn't even know it. He just thought it was rubber and it wouldn't conduct. But if you'd have put a meter on that barbed wire, he was pulling power into the barbed wire. That's why his fence never was that hot.
But what
But
an
you gotta
way.
give him an A+ for ingenuity. I mean, look at that. I mean, the old timers, Marshall went through the Depression. You know, he just figured out ways to try and make it work. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Anybody needing a really good fence this spring, folks, building any kind of fence is a lot of work, and there's money involved in it. It's probably the biggest expense you're gonna have on your farm. Don't halfway do it, and don't patch it up where you got to go out there every few months and fix it. And life's too short to be fixing fence every night when you get home from work. Build it right with Timeless. You don't have any conductivity out there, any conductive post, pulling juice out of your brand new fence because a deer hit it, knocked it up against your steel post.
Yeah, we got a few deer around here, and we don't have issues with that.
We just don't have any issues because we don't have any steel posts in any of our farms. And so, yeah, Timeless Fence. I'll put a link in this description. It's the best post made. And I'm telling you, if you're going to get into the livestock business, folks, keep them on your farm. They don't belong out there on the highway. And somebody hits one, you're going to wish you'd put in Timeless rather than steel posts. So with that, I'm going to sign out. And everyone have a good one. And hit that subscribe button on the way out. Take care.